Shalom, all praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the elect Ba'Shem Rachak Wadash. My name is Jacobo from Plaintables Camp. Only a psychopath, a lunatic, would say they don't need protection from a man, and they don't need protection from the Most High, or from spirits, because the woman's God is the man, pursuant to Genesis, second chapter, and 1 Corinthians 11th chapter. All right, so this here, this is a EWU crime storyline. They put this video together. I'm just going to play the stalking scene. It's in Dunlap. I'm not sure what state that's in, but we're going to play a little bit of it. So a psychopath believes they don't need protection. All right. When Elijah was ran from Ahab and he was hiding in the forest, you know how the spirit gave him meat by way of ravens or birds. I forget the type of bird, but the birds fed him. And the spirit made hot cakes appear so he could eat. All right. So Elijah had the beasts of the field and the spirit protecting them. All right. Women are protected by men, as it is written. All right. People die in car accidents. They get kidnapped. All sorts of demonic things happen to them. All right. And only a psychopath would say they don't need someone to protect them. So let's look in. So this woman is being stalked here. So they're saying this is 2014. This happened back in 2014, but he did this video a couple days ago. So it's an old story, but it's relevant. That's the woman that ends up dying. And that's I believe, on the left side. The right side is her where the arrow is. And that's him right there. That's the murderer. I believe he said he confessed. The news said he confessed. All right. Yep. So he sees the victim. But you have certain groups of people, women, say they don't need help. They don't need the protection. They can make their own money, which is, they're lying. But they project this, and that's really Yahushua setting them up to have them eviscerated. It means disemboweled, eviscerate. All right, so that's her being stalked. Let's go. I guess let it play. Tennessee. Oh, so it's in Tennessee. It looks like. In a wine and spirit store or whatever state store that is. Might be independent, depending on Tennessee's laws, if it's in Tennessee. All right. Oh, are they talking? Or that's somebody else. If that's her, they're talking. And I believe most people that are murdered, they know the person. All right. And yes, this is EWU's crime story time. All right. Now the story goes that I forget whose house it was, but he kills her and eats her. All right. This is HLN. Police. Man admits to killing, dismembering, and eating woman. All right, let's listen in.
I'm big on people having their own privacy and their own space. But when you begin to look at Facebook pages that are that just creepy. It makes me wonder, all those people that were liking his post, all those people that were making comments on his page, nobody had the guts to say, but man, are you really serious about this?
Yeah.
Where do we draw the line?
Right.
How do we know when it's just funny or when it's just a little sick or
You
it's going
should
to turn
know
into
when it's
something?
this extreme. You should know. When we talk about being a responsible citizen of social media, that's when you just got to trust your gut. When you see something like this, that's when you should alert something.
Well,
and I bet my life that this is not his first victim.
Well, that's
That 30-something years old. Come on.
Interesting. Judy, go ahead.
Yeah, here's the thing, though. Who are the type of people who are going to be friends with this guy on Facebook? They're probably other like-minded individuals, possibly other Satan worshipers, and so they're not going to alert the media on this one. And when I was looking through his Facebook, I realized that his very first, one of his earliest posts was in 2011, and it was a song about cannibalism. So this is not a new belief for him. I was trying to see, like, was there a breaking point where he started to go this way? No.
Infatuation.
For as long as we've known this guy on social media, he's been this person.
He's 37. He looks like he's in his 50s. I mean, he looks really old and terrible.
This is, listen, there are dangerous people out there. They live next door to us. This woman, the woman that was killed, met this guy in a liquor store. Judy is absolutely right. The challenge of people in positions of authority, whether it is Facebook monitoring him or cops when you call them or mental health professionals predicting that this guy is as awful as we think he is, hard to do. Believe it or not, it's hard to do. But we can keep an eye on this guy. And we can learn from this story. Once again, there's something to be learned here. If you meet somebody you didn't know at a liquor store or out in public, you can look at their social media site and learn something about them. And if you think to yourself, I'm not so sure, or we got to keep an eye on this guy, get out of there.
This was in 2000.
Yeah, it's 2014, back when women weren't as crazy as they are now. They they tightened up now. You got to be an NBA player to get a low quality woman now. But he got her at the liquor store. He looks like absolute shit. And so we're gonna start off at where we at? Ecclesiasticus 39 and 28. There be spirits that are created for vengeance, which in their fury lay on sore strokes. In the time of destruction, they pour out their fury and appease the wrath of him that made them. Fire, hail, famine, and death. That's the point. And death. All these were created for vengeance. The teeth of wild beasts, scorpions, serpents, and swords, punishing the wicked to destruction. They shall rejoice in his commandment. All right. So we know that death, famine, hail, fire, these are all things that issue from Yahushua. All right. They issue from the Messiah. All right. And Yahushua is following the blueprint of the Father Yahweh. All right. They shall rejoice in his commandment. So when these gruesome things are carried out, all right, they're happy to do it. All right. And they shall be ready upon earth when need is. All right. So the Lord wanted that particular spirit off the earth and in the spirit world, and he used that dude to do it. And when their time has come, they shall not transgress his word. So if you mark for judgment, and your judgment is death, you will get it in one of these ways: fire, hail, famine, or you may get deleted by a person, by an animal, by disease. Another video here. Also 9 years ago. I think it's 2014, June 11th, 2014.
We're learning more about the gruesome cannibalism killing of a Bledsoe County woman. Authorities say Gregory Scott Hale met 36-year-old Lisa Marie Hyder of Pikeville sometime over the weekend. Police believe the two didn't have any prior connection. The woman then went with Hale to his parents' home, and she was killed while sitting with Hale around a fire pit outside. After the murder, an affidavit says Hale beheaded her and cut off her hands, placing them in a bucket. He buried her torso in a burn pile. He also admitted to eating part of the victim. Hale tried to get an acquaintance to help him dispose of the rest of the body, and that man told police. Hale has been charged with murder and abuse of a corpse. He's being held on a $1.5 million bond. He'll appear in court June 16th.
I believe he got life in prison. So a guy like that, they should just execute. It's not wasting resources keeping him. He's still in prison right now. So yeah, he got life in prison. Now this is Tommy Sotomayor. I believe when he was on Fresh and Fit a few years back. You have a certain group that constantly says they're not protected. They're not under the protection of so-called black men or men, and these are not decent women. A woman that says that is uncovered, and she doesn't have a man in the Lord. All right, no woman, no intelligent woman that's full of the Holy Spirit would say that. Because for one, they would know certain scriptures about the angels protecting the Israelites. Angels, everyone has a guardian angel, and they would have a husband. They would get a husband. They would be proactive in getting a husband. So let's see how Tommy breaks down. I didn't watch the clip, and I didn't see this clip when he was on the show. Listen what he got to say. There we go.
I always find it funny that women say they're not protected, especially by black men. But when a person tells you this is what comes with my protection, they want to argue that protection. Even the president of the United States doesn't argue with his protection. They tell him where he can and can't go to mitigate the chance of him being assassinated or assaulted or whatever. Yeah. I just left the game, the Heat game, and I was sitting down there with Drake. Drake has a big bodyguard there with him to try and even stop people from shooting certain videos of him, but you can't get close to him. I'm pretty sure Drake ain't gonna tell him, I'm gonna do what I want to do. Like, you're hiring this man to protect you. Right. So he has protection protocols. If you want a man to protect you, ladies should have protection protocol. Right. If I go outside right now in a Bugatti or a McLaren, more girls are gonna want to talk to me regardless of what I look like because of what I got. If I go outside and dress modestly, less girls are going to want to run up and do whatever it is. It's the same thing with women and how they dress. They should understand when someone says, if I have my titties out, I get the same attention. That's insane. Like, that's literally insane to say that. No, you would not. Like, you've now reached the base instinct of a man when you got your titties and puss out. Right. When you covered up, and here's the biggest thing, the type of attention you get is different. If you are modestly dressed, women can tell you get a different type of man to approach you, and the way he approaches you is different. Now I'm trying to ask you on a date or whatever. If I see you dressed like a hoe, how am I going to dress you? How much it costs? Can a nigga see that ass? Like, I'm going to talk to you how you look.
Like a hoe.
Yeah, so I mean, let's be real. When she said, like, well, I can dress like that, take me to the Hamptons. Well, if I take you to a restaurant with your nipples out and your titties out, they're going to tell you to leave. I've been to nice restaurants, and a girl tried to come in there with her, just nipples were showing. They told her, man, you either put a coat on this chick or y'all can't come in.
Right, and that's in the black woman and women in general. They would say, oh, you're insecure. Well, my job is to get secure, to secure the whole situation, and a woman doesn't dictate a man's security protocols, like the brother was saying. All right? But these hyper masculine women actually believe that they can regulate their protection. And it's really, they're just demons. They just want to do what the fuck they want to do. In my opinion, don't ever try, my advice is to say, ever try to convert or change a woman's mind. To simply teach the scriptures the correct way. And if they listen, they listen. If they don't, they don't. That goes for everybody, especially the woman, because the scriptures say that she's a dumb ostrich that doesn't even know that she's killing her offspring. She'll sit right on her eggs. All right, let me get that. Here, when you look in Job 39, yes, it's talking about an ostrich, but it's also talking about the woman. This is a prophecy that women were going to be our women were going to be very unmotherly, and they pretty much were going to be harbingers of death. All right. This is Job 39:13. Gavest thou goodly wings unto the peacocks, or wings and feathers unto the ostrich? Yeah, they both have wings, but they can't fly. They can't really use the wings to fly. Now, a peacock, I believe, can fly, but very low and only for short distances. All right. So now the peacock, is very beautiful, also to look upon. The colors and the shapes and the presenting that the peacock does. All right. Which leaveth her eggs, is the ostrich, which leaveth her eggs in the earth, and warmeth them in dust, and forgetteth that the foot may crush them, or that the wild beasts may break them. She is hardened against her young ones, as though they were not hers. Her labor is in vain, without fear. All right, and that's the thing, when you try to teach women, most of them not going to get it. All right. Well, that's most people, but we're talking about the women right now. All right. So don't be astonished that they're not understanding or believing what you're saying, because they move without fear. They don't fear that what you're saying is the truth. They're concerned about moving forward with their own agenda and with their own pleasure, because the power hath deprived her of wisdom, neither hath he imparted to her understanding. All right. So yes, it's talking about these animals, but it's also talking about the woman. This is a natural. The natural state of a woman is not to really understand concepts, and understanding the concept of protection. You don't get to decide the rules and guidelines of your protection. You're protected by someone else, or you're not. You don't get to tailor fit your protection, like Tommy Sotomayor was explaining. All right. Now, let's prove it's talking about the woman also. All right. You look up, thou shalt not muzzle the ox when he treadeth out the corn. Deuteronomy 25:4. And then 1 Corinthians 9:9 confirms it. It says, for it is, so that he was saying, okay, that you're supposed to help out financially the men that are teaching you the truth. All right. 1 Corinthians 9:9. For it is written in the law of Moses, thou shalt not muzzle the ox. Thou shalt not muzzle the mouth of the ox that treadeth out the corn. Doth the power take care for oxen? Or saith he it altogether for our sakes? For our sakes, no doubt it is written. This is written. Okay? That he that ploweth should plow in hope, and that he that thresheth in hope should be partaker of his hope. All right. Who giveth who goeth to warfare, goeth a warfare any time at his own charge. Who planteth the vineyard eateth not the fruit thereof. Meaning the flock is supposed to feed you. So Romans 9 is a heavy chapter. So he said, thou shalt not muzzle the ox, meaning a workman that treadeth out the corn. And the law says, what you shouldn't muzzle the ox that treadeth out the corn. So you feed the ox while he's plowing. All right. So this was for our sakes. So in other words, that when the scriptures are written, it's written for the betterment and the knowledge and the benefit of us, even though it's given the analogy of animals. Okay. So let's go back to Sotomayor.
Well, if I take you to a restaurant with your nipples out and your titties out, they're going to tell you to leave. I've been to nice restaurants, and a girl tried to come in there with her, just nipples were showing. They told her man, you either put a coat on this chick or y'all can't come in. So dress the part, dress the place. And that's why I think a lot of times it's hard to date these.
Right, but you have women that they have to just admit this, and men, you need to accept this, that women are attracted to low quality type of men. That they're sexually attracted to those type of men. All right, so you can't really negotiate attraction. All right, this is why the only way Israel's going to learn is by extreme pain and suffering. All right, they're mentally, physically attracted to what they're attracted to, and most likely it ain't you. So what you need to do is stop investing your mental energy into trying to get these whores. All right, go back a little bit. They're telling you what they like. All right, and if you ain't dressed a certain way or talk a certain way, you talk, say the whole word, at times, and you don't wear your pants hanging off your ass, or fitted caps, or Timberland boots with the tongue sticking out, Phillies cap cocked to the side. They're attracted, they're actually mentally, physically attracted to that. So you can't really negotiate attraction. The only way you can get, we're going to get our women back is when extreme pain and suffering occurs. And that's when they're going to be willing, as the scriptures say, Psalms at least 110. Thy people shall be willing to dare thy power. That's when they're going to want to act right. All right. But until then, they're on their own. They're not going to get protected because they are hyper attracted to the thug type person. That a certain type of image, and there's nothing that you can do, and it's not your responsibility to change their mind. The only thing we're supposed to be doing is preaching and reading the scriptures. All right, and telling them what's going to befall them in their latter days.
They told her man, you either put a coat on this chick or y'all can't come in. Mm-hmm. So dress the part, dress the place. And that's why I think a lot of times it's hard to date these women, because you like sleeping with them. But why would you make that woman the mother of your children? Because she might go to the PTA looking stupid, talking about I can do what I want. Whenever somebody says I can do what I want, that's not an adult.
Yeah, I've said that before. Yeah, anytime any person, they're a psychopath, says I can do what I want, they're an insane person, and you need to get far away from them. And they have the outlook. You can see these women. I think all women have the attire of a harlot on. I'll go back to 220. All right, like you couldn't take. They all got their chest. So, well, she got kind of a jacket on, and she has a jacket on too right there. But you can see that of course the black women are going to have the weave, and the Latinas, they got in their natural hair. But this is the attire of a harlot. All right, they're pretty much all on this show to promote their social media pages so they can make money because they're not covered. That's why women come on shows like this, because they're not covered most of the time, 99% of the time. They don't have a man. And they're perpetually riding a cock carousel. All right, let's go back to 20. All right, and living this type of lifestyle is going to get you put in the grave.
Because an adult understands there are places and situations where that. Why would you make that woman the mother of your children? Because she might go to the PTA looking stupid, talking about I can do what I want. Whenever somebody says I can do what I want, that's not an adult. Because an adult understands there are places and situations where that's not appropriate.
Right.
All right, Tommy, get off the couch, man.
Yeah.
You've earned your own chair.
Yeah.
Get off the couch. Myron to set it up.
Yeah.
Dealer can have back his spot. All right, let's
see how they treat
Tommy. Sure, guys, to save the day.
Under Department of Homeland Security, and within the Department of Homeland Security is the Secret Service, who protects the president. Now,
Dealer can have back. To save the day. Ladies, welcome, Tommy. Tommy, ladies.
Welcome, Tommy.
You know what? That's a family investigations, and we're part of under Department of Homeland Security, and within the Department of Homeland Security is the Secret Service, who protects the president. Now, I don't know if you guys know this, but the Secret Service is a fairly small agency. They don't have that many agents, so outside of the presidential detail, they're stretched pretty thin. So every year they have something called the UN, right, which happens in New York City. which a bunch of, foreign dignitaries come in, presidents, whatever. I was on a detail, and I protected the president of, what president was it? I think
Congo?
it was Congo, president of Congo. And you're right. The detail tells him how he can move and how it's going to be done. He doesn't have any say, really. All he says is, I want to do this, and then we figure out how we're going to get him there in one piece. He has no say in how we do it. He just makes sure, his thing is just, I want to go here, and then we tell him, all right, this is what's going to take. We got to go at this time, this motorcade, blah, blah, blah. They have no say in it. And that's a great point that you made up, is that because when you're tasked with protecting someone, the person that you're protecting really doesn't have a say in how you do it. You see what's fit. You see what's fit to do it because you're going to do it in a way that's safe to you.
Right. You go to Deuteronomy 28. The reason why women they want to tailor fit their protection is because the unity between the men and the woman has been broken down. Let me go to Deuteronomy 28:54 and 28:56. It says that the man and the woman says very delicate shall be evil toward his brother and toward the wife of his bosom, toward the remnant of his children, which he shall leave. The tender and delicate woman among you, which shall not have ventured to set her soul or foot upon the ground for delicateness and tenderness, her eyes shall be evil toward her husband, and toward her son, and toward her daughter, and toward her young one that cometh out from between her feet, and toward the children that she shall bear, for she shall eat them for want of things secretly in a siege, and straightness therewith thy enemy shall distress thee in thy gates. And the time period where that happened was in, I believe, a city called Masada. All right, that's one of the times that the cannibalism happened. All right, but the curse is that our eye was going to be evil toward each other. Now, our duty, especially as Israelite men, is to be leaders, make ourselves an example that our people will follow. All right, and we do that first and foremost by preaching the gospel and getting our shit all the way together. All right, and the women are supposed to follow us. All right, as it is written that people shall be willing in the day of their power. So that time is coming. Now, Taylor, go back to Genesis, Job 39, where we had 27 minutes. All right. It says, because the 39:17, because the power hath deprived her of wisdom, neither hath he imparted to her understanding. So we know that doth the Lord take care for oxen, or does he say it's for our sakes? So it's prophesied that women do not have the intelligence to protect themselves. All right, because part of your protection is being fit, a vessel fit for use. Let me get that scripture. It says, but in a great house, 2 Timothy 2:20, but in a great house are not only vessels of gold and silver, but also of wood and of earth, and some to honor, some to dishonor. So we got to purge out the dishonorable parts. All right. If a man therefore purge himself from these, meaning the dishonorable parts, the lesser parts, he shall be a vessel unto honor, sanctified and meet for the master's use, and prepared unto every good work. Yeah, but if you're still full of hatred, envy, distrust, malignity, you still filled with those lesser things. You got the wood and earth and dishonor. Right? We want to purge so we can be pure gold and pure silver, fit for the master's use. All right. Now let me check this word. It's a heavy word here. I haven't looked this up in a while. Master's use. Yeah, despotes. Absolute master. A husband. Absolute ruler. Prepared. Let me look. Despote. Argon work. Agathon. And prepared. Okay. We got hetoimazo. Is to make ready, preparations, get everything ready. Drawn from Oriental customs of sending on before kings on their journeys, persons to level the roads to make them passable. Prepare. Yeah. To prepare the mind of men to give the Messiah a fit reception and secure his blessings. Yeah, preparing your mind. Yeah, so if you're not prepared for salvation, you're going to be burned up in the hellfire. All right? Prepare, provide. All right? And the whole thing is now, why women claim they ain't listening, is because they don't trust. They don't trust. They're full of fear. And this proves that they don't have the Holy Spirit. Because if you had the Holy Spirit, you wouldn't fear anything. You would just analyze what the scriptures, pray, and move forward. But you have people full of fear. All right? And unfaithfulness. And we have 30 minutes.
Safe to them, and of course, do what? Mitigate risk. Because the last thing you want to do is actually get in a confrontation. That's the last step. You know, just like having a gun or whatever it is. You have it, you're trained, but you wish you never actually have to use it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So that's a good point, man. That the Secret Service, you know, the president ain't fighting with the Secret Service like, hey, I don't like this way that we're doing it. Like, no, he just follows it.
Right, Deuteronomy 28th chapter. All right, evil toward each other. All right, but now we don't have an excuse because we're born again. We're refreshed. We understand the scriptures. We understand why. The reason why, because we sinned against the Lord, so the Lord put this curse on us. All right. So now we have the mind to do better. 180 degrees turn from our past.
It is what it is. It's not his job or whatever it is. You have it, you're trained, but you wish you never actually have to use it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So that's a good point, man. That the Secret Service, you know, the president ain't fighting with the Secret Service like, hey, I don't like this way that we're doing it. Like, no, he just follows it. It is what it is. It's not his job to do that. His job is to get to the location safely so none happens. Secret Service job to get him there safely.
I want to wear neon green, so I stand out.
I have something to say.
Yeah, sure, go ahead.
So I feel like on this topic, when it comes to a man deciding what a woman has to wear, first it starts with the relationship. Obviously, there has to be compatibility.
All right, then a dumb hoe speaks. Okay, all right. If you ain't listening to your man, all right, 100%. Where we at? If you ain't listening to your man 100%, especially when it comes down to the wire, you're gonna get put to death. All right. 1 Corinthians 11. 1 Corinthians 11. It says, "Be followers of me, even as I also am of Mashiach. Now I praise you, brethren, that ye remember me in all things, and keep the ordinances as I deliver them to you. But I would have you know that the head of every man is the Lord, is Mashiach, and the head of the woman is a man, and the head of Mashiach is Yahweh." All right. So we put the letters on. And we're going to look up head. Kaphale. It says, the head of both men and often animals, since the loss of the head destroys life. Okay? The loss of the head destroys life. All right? That's why these women that are unruly and that are, well, it depends on our relationship. It depends on whether you tell me what to wear or not. This is not a negotiation. All right? You're on your own. All right, we can just leave it at that. You ain't got to explain how, how close we are. If we went on 3 dates, which is dating is demonic anyway. It's wicked. But that's something that we engage in. I don't recommend doing it much. Keep it to an extreme minimal. That's my philosophy. Since the loss of the head destroys life, this word is used in perhaps relating to capital and extreme punishment You go down to persons master of a husband in relation to his wife. All right. Anything supreme. And basically the woman doesn't respect. Our women don't respect us in this way. And don't worry, we're gonna get our respect back. We're gonna get our respect through pain and suffering. All right. And we ain't gonna do nothing. We're just gonna be sitting there. I had a vision, weeping and gnashing of teeth, and women from the three phenotypes. I think there's three amongst our people, so-called Negro, so-called Latino, so-called Native American, were begging me to learn the law in my vision. All right. And a driver must have been an angel. I was in the back seat looking out the left side of my window, and they were crying and weeping and teach us the law, teach us the law, teach us the law. And a driver that's accelerated to chirp second gear, and they were hanging out the window, and then they disappeared. And I looked at the driver like he was cold, and I was astonished that these women were even talking with me, begging me to learn the laws. And it was weird. This happened, I think I was probably like 20-something years old when I had this vision. All right. So I know that there's going to be a lot of pain and suffering with women. All right. Because they don't have a supreme master. They're independent, and they're negotiating with you on, whether it's depending on our relationship, whether you can tell me what to wear. Either you 100% with the man or you ain't. All right. You either dress like you a Israelite woman or don't. Because no, we're not forcing you to. We're just telling you to know what the scriptures say, and it would be better if you do it our way. It says cornerstone, literally or figuratively. Now we're gonna go down to so the head. So you understand the head now. We're supposed to have her head covered there in the 5th verse. And we're going to, let's just type it in. Let's see, Control G works too, huh? Control G? Oh, Control G works too. Control F and Control G. Right there. For this cause, well, there we go. For the man is not of the woman, but the woman of the man is not of the woman, but the woman of the man. Neither was the man created for the woman, but the woman for the man. For this cause ought a woman to have power on her head because of the angels. 1849. Exousia. Go down. The veil which proprietary required a woman to cover herself. A sign of a husband's authority over his wife. Regal authority. And women, and we understand women do not believe that men are powerful. Our men, so-called black, Latinos, Native Americans, our women look at us as insufficient. All right? Because they're comparing us to the so-called white man. And the demonic thoughts they have, what they see on TV and reality TV shows. They're comparing us to that. All right? So, it was another point I was making here. Judge in yourselves, is it commonly that a woman pray into the power uncovered? And it talks about long hair of a man. You ain't supposed to have long hair as a man. All right. Let's go up here. If she's not covered, let her be shorn. For the man indeed ought not to cover his head. It's not in the law, as what Sakari would say. Sakari Israelites, guerrilla Hebrew. No, I don't say it in the law that a man is not supposed to cover his head. For a man indeed ought not to cover his head, for as much as he is the image of the glory of the power, but the woman is the glory of the man. For a man is not of the woman, but the woman is of the man. Meaning the woman generated from the man. All right, the man carries the seed. The man can bring forth the nation back. Seed. A woman conceives seed. Oh, I think I was going to look it up another translation. That's what I was going to do. We had 11 and 8. Let me see. All right, this was New Living Translation in LT. It says, let me go to what it says up here. All right, let's go down to 8. It says, 1 Corinthians 11:8, for the first man didn't come from woman, but the first woman came from man. And man was not made for woman, but woman was made for man. All right, that's pretty straightforward. You get it. Go to the 10th verse. For this reason, and because the angels are watching, a woman should wear a covering on her head to show she is under authority. All right, so we know right now women, they're on this independent streak, and this independent streak is not going to get them saved. So long as they have this mindset, so no person's independent. Okay, we are all dependents. All right, you go back up to the 3rd verse. All right, we all have heads. All right. I don't really care what these women have to say, so I'll skip past her part. Let's just go with what the men are saying. All right, they're all just filthy H's. So let's move on.
I got to take some accountability on the guy's side too, because you're 100% right. You cannot sit there and put boundaries and standards on a woman if you are not, how do I say this, in a leadership role. If you're not you have to have your shit together. You can't be some loser telling girls, I need you to do this, I need you to do that, blah, blah, blah. You're only going to be treated as a king if you are a king. If you're not, she's going to...
Right, exactly right. That's why if you didn't learn it from your father, from your parents growing up, we have the scriptures, all right, to lead us. Now that's I don't really think that's really even a problem. The real problem is that women, they only want a certain type of man anyway. So even if you are within, got your shit all the way together, they're only looking for a certain type of man anyway. So yeah, have your shit together, all right, and don't expect gold from a filthy sewer, all right. That's very important. Don't expect to get the most out of women like this, like the 3 you see here, or all of them, when they're completely filthy. All right? It don't matter if you have your shit together. If you're approaching women that are low quality trash, you're going to end up doing what your parents did. All right? Having a baby, she don't like you no more for whatever reason. Your ass on child support. Bunch of damn drama. All right? You can break the cycle by not releasing inside these women. All right? Don't give them the highest honor that you can give a woman is your seed. All right? So have your your spiritual mind intact. Have your finances together, and make it comfortable so a woman can come into your situation. Now, that doesn't mean you are a multimillionaire or you take boat trips and vacations. So these are things that they want, right? These are not things that they need. And they're going to find that out. These coming past days and years, they're going to find out that all that shit that they're looking at, that they want to experience, doesn't mean anything. And it's going to be too late for salvation. Like the vision I had, those women didn't get saved. Maybe brothers had other visions of women getting saved. I didn't have that vision. I had the vision of weeping and gnashing of teeth. All right? Before fire. All right? So have your situation together. And if they don't if they're not attracted to you, it's because the spirit is making them that way, and that's fine. That's fine. The bringing back of the nation is going to be through the elect lady, not through whores. All right? The scriptures speak about the elect lady. All right?
Just look at you like you're a sucker, whether you're a sugar daddy paying her bills and she don't fuck you, or you're just a guy that she smashes every now and then when she's bored. You have to be the man to get the respect of being the man, if that makes sense. So that's how it comes, guys.
Right. And the women don't get it confused that you don't tailor fit everything you want in a man. You better get what you can get, because otherwise you're just going to get tossed, passed around like a damn Lucy, a filly. All right. You better get what you can get, because there are very few men of the Lord relative to the whole. Very few.
Guys, women, we always say it, women, the foundation of how women deal with men is they need respect first. And for that respect to come, she has to see that you are an accomplished man and you're worthy of leading. So I get what you're saying.
But the thing is, worthy of lead, they believe the NBA player, the business owner, the guy that doesn't work a 9-to-5 job, that's what they believe is the proper man for them. All right, even though there's still no fucking low quality men on the side. But that's what they would project as that what they require. All right. And that's because their minds are polluted with devils. All right. In 2014, 2012, 2010, all the way back then, these women weren't this damn corrupt and far gone. But now in 2024, 2023, 2024, they're gone. And that's what the starting point is. The athlete, the entertainer, the business owner. That's the starting point. Even though they're still having casual sex on the side with the thug. All right. Now this video's almost over. All right. They don't have a defense because their mind is fucking polluted. All right. Their standard is this rich man, and if their standard is this rich man, their mind is polluted.
Saying like, can't be a loser telling you, hey, I don't like the way you're dressed. You're like, fuck you, bruh.
Right, and then she's gonna.
She has something to say. Well, whether he's a loser or not is irrelevant. She shouldn't be dressed like that. That's the thing. Let me get this. This is labeled "Women Instructed." 1 Timothy 2:9. In like manner also, that a woman endure themselves in modest apparel, with shamefacedness and sobriety, not with broidered hair or gold or pearls of costly array. So it shouldn't matter whether a man is respectable or not. A woman is not supposed to be dressed like a harlot, unless they are. Any women claim not to be whores, right? But they have the attire of a harlot, cosmios. Well arranged, seemingly modest, orderly, of good behavior. And comes from cosmos, which is orderly arrangement, meaning it's in order, fit, proper, with shamefacedness and sobriety, not with broidered hair or gold or pearls of costly array. Meaning your hair is supposed to be more plain. Now I can see if you got like a huge fro, you want to keep it, down. You might braid it. All right. Or even straighten it to keep it more under control for for certain interactions with with the public. Shamefacedness, G127. We got aidas, a sense of shame or honor, modestly, bashfulness, reverence, regard for others. Bashfulness, bashful. The quality of being bashful. Let me go bashful. Definition. Shy, self-conscious, awkward in the presence of others. Right, and this is what you don't see from our women. They're very straightforward. It says showing result from shyness. All right, awkwardness. Yeah, you'd be almost afraid to look, a brother in the eye for too long. Reverence, awe, bashfulness, toward men, modesty, or towards the power. Reverence. You ain't showing my definitions. Feeling of profound awe and respect. Often love. Acting or showing respect. To bow. Curtsy. A woman's or girl's formal greeting made by bending the knee with one foot in front of the other. Oh, curtsy. Oh, let's look that up. Curtsy. Probably gonna see all white women doing it. Yeah. So-called white women. Oh, okay, curtsy. You'll never see how women do this shit. Especially the black woman toward a black man, so-called black man. Damn. Yeah. Yeah, they lost. They lost their femininity and they lost their honor, and it's in their spirit. It's like deep rooted, and you can't say anything. It's not like you can talk eloquently, and then they get it. They ain't gonna get it. So, because we're under that curse. All right. Yeah. Let's go back and finish this video off. I guess some video turned out to be kind of long.
I'm gonna question your reasoning. Like, what if you don't want me to wear this because you're insecure, not because it's inappropriate?
Fair enough. Yep. So
that's not fair enough. And being insecure has nothing to do with you dressing like a whore. He dropped the ball on that. Whether you dress like a whore, that's a person being insecure is irrelevant. You're supposed to dress like a woman, not like a streetwalker. All right.
Well, what if in that situation? Well, here's how I do it. I don't date a woman that does not have enough self-respect to know her own boundaries while I'm not there. If I got to tell you what to do, I'm not your daddy. If I got to tell you what to do and you're already acting out, then why would I mess with you in the first place? Correct. A lot of us get in relationships with people who we know.
All right. Thank you for saying that. Yeah, exactly. You shouldn't have to tell a woman how to do her hair. You shouldn't have to tell a woman how to dress. You shouldn't be really telling her nothing. If she knows the scriptures, she's pretty much on autopilot. But as it is written, the Lord has the prize of her wisdom. All right. So you give instruction where it needs to be. But if she, of the hopeful elect, and she's not a fucking idiot, you really shouldn't have to tell her to do anything. Everything's already there, And thank you for saying that, because dude Myron, he dropped the ball. Fair enough. I don't agree with that. Insecure. It ain't got nothing to do with us, a man being insecure. It got everything to do with you dressing inappropriately, no matter what the status of your relationship is. Unless you're a whore. If you're a whore, then you got great. You dress the way you want to attract men to get sex, to get money. All right. All right. Let's go back.
Well, what if in that situation? Well, here's how I do it. I don't date a woman that does not have enough self-respect to know her own boundaries while I'm not there. If I got to tell you what to do, I'm not your daddy. If I got to tell you what to do and you're already acting out, then why would I mess with you in the first place? Correct. A lot of us get in relationships with people who we know aren't doing something, or we'll go, well, we were just fucking, so I don't care what you wear. Now we've been fucking consistently. Now I'm going to tell you what to do. Or I met you at the strip club and it was fine. Now I don't want you to strip anymore. These are things where people are, they're constantly trying to tell somebody what to do, when in essence, the best person to be with is a person who already was doing the right thing before. So you don't have to try and change them when the situation changes. They have enough common sense to do it themselves.
You said a word with that one.
Chance of him.
Right. So when you meet these women, don't, what the scripture say? What? Where did scripture say? Let me get that precept real quick. This is Ecclesiasticus 26:11. 8. A drunken woman and a gatter abroad causeth great anger, and she will not cover her own shame. The whoredom of a woman may be known in her haughty looks and eyelids, meaning paint. You paint the eyelids different colors. These are the attire of a harlot, just to attract men to certain features, so you want to have sex with them. All right. If thy daughter be shameless, keep her in straitly, lest she abuse herself through overmuch liberty. Watch over an impudent eye, and marvel not if she trespass against thee. So don't be surprised. Like, well, you met this woman in a whore place. Don't be astonished, filled with wonder and astonishment. Like, wow, I didn't think she could do this. You're dealing with a harlot. She's just a part-time harlot. And that's the majority of women. They're part-time harlots. All right? You have professionals and you got part-time harlots. All right? Watch over an impudent eye and marvel not if she trespass against thee. She will open her mouth as a thirsty traveler when he hath found a fountain, and drink of every water near her. The waters are different men. By every hedge will she sit down. Men. And open her quiver against every arrow. Her vagina, arrows of men's penises or their rods. All right. So understand, when you date these regular normie women, most of the time you're going to get normie results. And there's going to be various degrees between them, but you're going to get varying results. If her mind isn't toward serving you and doing her little 9-to-5 job, if she has one, all right, don't marvel when she trespasses. All right, don't marvel if her mind isn't toward you. All right, her mind, because the scriptures say that the woman is a servant to the man. All right, she's a helpmate, a helper, an assistant, not a partner. All right, you try to play semantics with some of these words. They're an assistant. Women are our assistant. All right. Where we at? And I'll finish it off. Where we at? Yeah, 57 minutes. The video went kind of long, but I guess you could say this is a more advanced lesson. All right.
I always find it funny that women say they're not protected, especially by black men. But when a person tells you this is what comes with my protection, they want to argue that protection. Even the president of the United States doesn't argue with his protection. They tell him where he can and can't go to mitigate the chance of him being assassinated or assaulted or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's why I started off with this the cannibal. Where is he at? Crazy fucking Edomite. Liquor store. It's Lisa. All right. They're gonna get it eventually. All right. They're unprotected is because they won't submit. And they're unprotected is because this ain't like back in the day. Women, you're going to have to start approaching dudes. All right. Because if your external looks like you're unapproachable, you ain't going to get approached. All right. And as the prophecy goes, in Isaiah 4, I'll just read it. Read it from my phone. Isaiah 4:1. Where we at? Isaiah 4:1. And in that day, 7 women shall take hold of one man, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own apparel. Only let us be called by thy name to take away our reproach. Let me pull it up in the NLT. I don't think I've done that before. Yes, I did. I think I did it one time. I don't remember where, though. Isaiah 4:1. In that day, so few men will be left that 7 women will fight for each man, saying, let us all marry you. We will provide our own food and clothing. Only let us take your name so we won't be mocked as old maids. You know, old maid, basically a woman that's too old to get married. Let me look that up. Old maid. Used as disparaging term for a woman who is no longer young and has not married. Okay. And it was an 1841 comedy play. Very attentive to concern about actual details. Okay, so no longer young and too old to get married. Yeah, you'll get to that age as a woman. Me, I'm late 30s and I can still get younger women, in their 20s. But women, it's going to be sex only. If for the woman in my position, you get a 20-year-old man, it's going to be that's going to be like a sex only kind of thing. All right, where are we? Okay. All right. In that day, Isaiah 4:1, in that day, so few men will be left that 7 women will fight for each man. And you go back to Isaiah 3, talks about Judah was the women of Judah denounced. And you go down to 3:25, and then it continues to Isaiah 4. The men of the city will be killed with the sword, and her warriors will die in battle. The gates of Zion will weep and mourn, and the city will be like a ravaged woman, huddled on the ground. That means being raped, violated. All right. So all these men are going to get killed. 4th chapter. In that day, so few men will be left that 7. This goes into 2nd Ezra 15 and 16. So few men will be left that 7 women will fight for each man, saying, let us all marry you. We will provide our own food and clothing. Only let us take your. I mean, they're gonna actually want to cook, right? Because they're not gonna have power to actually get their own food. They're gonna basically be servants again. Only let us take your name so we won't be mocked as old maids. Right? You'll be the only one with no man, and that's shameful. So that's the lesson. Had a few different points. Spirit was telling me to do a video like this, and hope it was edifying. Shalom.